I'm right there. So allow me to spotlight some few people. Okay, there. All right. Wherever you are joining us from. My name is Collins Dundo, and I am the CEO for the founder and the CEO for Youth Initiative Development Program. I'm glad you've taken your time to dial in and join us this afternoon for this important conversation. So I am going to do the housekeeping. Bear with me, after which I will give the keynote address. For the interest of time, we just decided to have one person doing it today. So distinguished delegates and esteemed representatives from different agencies and organizations, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. Jambo sana. So if you are coming from East Africa, you understand what Jambo is all about. And if you are coming from countries where there is no Swahili, Jambo means hi. So I'm really delighted to welcome you in this wonderful engagement and virtual dialogue. And I would like to give a brief of housekeeping rule. Of course, the session will take 2 hours, that is 120 minutes. And also delegates are requested to be on mute by the time by the time keynote address will be going on, and by the time our key panelist will be speaking. And we'll have a good time of around 1 hour, around 40 minutes to 1 hour engaging, because this is a round table. So if you have any question, if you have any remarks on the topical area that we'll be delving into, kindly feel free to write something down. And also feel free, when time allows during your time, to unmute yourself and also contribute towards this important discussion. We have also circulated data privacy. We will be taking screenshots and also be taking a bit of photos during our virtual engagement. So by you attending this is by default, you have accepted to the terms and condition that we stipulated in the clause that we shared with you. And again, we have different speakers from different regions. And we have researchers in this house, and we have coaches in this house. We have teachers, and also we have parents who are attending this important discussion. So we would like to thank you for taking your time and also be part of this important discussion. So just to come and talk about who we are, so that maybe those who are joining in for the first time get a brief of who YIDP, or Youth Initiative Development Program, is. We are a grassroots-born laboratory or initiative. We focus on social transformation. We function as a strategic bridge, field level implementation, and international policy standards. So we try to bring in engagement from different people internationally and locally, and see what is happening and what is not happening. So YIDP generally focus on holistic wellness for the young person, and we are using sports as a vehicle, and we are using sports as an enabler to be able to support the youth, to be able to understand their struggles and also provide solutions that they need. So I don't need to talk about much about us. So maybe should you have any question, kindly reach out to us directly through our email. Then our team will reach out to you with more information about YIDP. So, ladies and gentlemen, we know wisdom teaches us that physical strength is a raw resource, but also psychological resilience is the architecture that sustains it. So over since fifth, we've been so much actively engaging into creating awareness because this is Mental Health Month. And I want to share a radical empirical reality. Recently at grassroots pitch, where sometimes I spend, not even sometimes, but most of my time, I spend time with young people and also even watch how they play. I saw a team in pristine jerseys, and if you are a corporate, you'll understand what I am saying because corporate private sectors really invest a lot of resources in jerseys for young people, in sponsored by a major brand, just to give visibility and the rest. So the visibility is perfect, and also we see it every day. But when I look into the eyes and the situation of the young athletes that are spending most of their time in the field that they really find, which they really get help, which they really feel that it's a safe place for them. I personally, I didn't see champions. I saw a young person carrying the crushing weight of being a poverty exit strategy for their families. Because if you engage with them, they'll tell you, I'm working so hard in this so that I can get something out of it. But as a coach, you will also understand we have young people are really seriously making a lot of efforts, but you find that that is not their line. And sometimes if you engage with them and try to convince them to find a different pathway, it really heartbreaks them and it really affects them psychologically. So just to give a brief of insights, in Africa, we find billions for broadcasting rights and stadium concrete. Yeah. We find thousands for jersey branding, which I mentioned earlier. But research shows we find near zero for psychosocial infrastructure of the athlete wearing that jersey. And also, if I check on some of the notes that I made, data from UNICEF 2024, in the Africa CDC confirms that 1 in 6 African adolescents battle high anxiety. And by prioritizing physical output over psychological safety, we are fueling identity foreclosure, a state where a child or a youth self-worth is entirely predicated on scoreboard. If the jersey comes off, the human identity shatters. So these struggles really made us as an organization to come up with a framework. We call it a mind ball. So YIDP has really been involved in several discussions internally with experts and also experts from different entities. And we have come up with a framework called Mindball that is designed to empower coaches. It's also designed to empower parents because parents really plays the greatest role, especially when they stand at the field. Sometimes the pressure is too high. Sometimes they put a lot of pressure on coaches. They put a lot of pressure even on the athletes themselves. So while they're driving home, there is a lot of negativity. There is a lot of wrong wordings that are really hitting hard young people that are in the athlete world. And that also applies even in the class. So Mindball only touches class, and also it touches the field. So we focus to use it after school program and school program. So once the framework is ready and the handbook is ready, we'll be more than glad to share it with various teams and various entities that are in sports, so that you can also have a gist and also learn from what have been put together. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point of time, I don't want to take a lot of time because we've really been pumping a lot of information from regarding Mindball. But today, we are here with the athletes themselves. We are here with the different experts in the media who will be giving media perspective and the kind of cases that they meet in day-to-day lives. And also we are having athletes themselves who are really pushing so hard so that they can also reach the limit or the level of professional standards or professional athletes have reached. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, allow me to welcome the moderator for today. This is someone who have really worked so close with the Mindball team, with YIDP, and is also part of YIDP, and is also in charge of communications and projects. Allow me to welcome Kevin Kaumba. So Kevin Kaumba, if you can hear me kindly, here you are in the field, so you can use yellow card, you can use red card, you can use whistle, whatever you have. And yeah, so start the session. Kindly enjoy.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, our CEO. I hope I'm loud and clear. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my singular honor to welcome all of you. Just to add on top of what our CEO, the very able Collins Alan Dundo, has said. Today, I am not going to do a lot of talking. I'm just going to do introductions, then the rest shall fall into place. That notwithstanding, I want to congratulate all the Arsenal fans in the house for winning a trophy after 22 years. 22 years is a very long time in life. And if you achieve something after 22 years, is commendable. So all the Arsenal fans in the house, congratulations. And I hope you're going to keep that record going forward. Only a caution, don't over-celebrate. Don't over-celebrate. Maybe you might hurt the feelings of other fans, other players. But remember also, Manchester United is following suit. They have gone 13 years without winning the Premier League. So I just want to issue a disclaimer. Don't throw stones at me. I'm just a messenger. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. At this juncture, I want to welcome our panelists who are already in the house. I've seen Kevin Ding, I've seen Oni, I've also seen John Regan. So I'm very happy that all our panelists are in the house, and I want us to enjoy this session. It will be as interactive as possible. I'm seeing we're already making use of our chat box. I'm seeing information there. We have somebody to guide us there. Please, if you cannot speak, just type something there, introduce yourself, share whatever you have with us as an organization. We'll be much appreciate that. So without taking much time, I'll give 2 minutes each to our panelists to just give self-introduction. I don't want to do that because they are here, they can speak for themselves. I'll just mention name, and then after that, they'll be able to introduce themselves. So ladies and gentlemen, mabibi na mabwana, mabibi na mabwana is Kiswahili. If you're not a Swahili speaker, sorry for that. I want to welcome our speakers on board so that each person to make a self-introduction, and also in the self-introduction, just tell us one unique thing about yourself. So without much ado, my first call on Kevin. I know you have the first 2 names. Just tell us about your Kevin, and then after that, we'll move to the next speaker. Kevin, if you can hear me, just 2 minute introduction. Then we'll go to.
Yes, I can. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please switch on your video. I can't see you.
Oh, okay. Now I open.
Yes, I can see you now, Kevin.
Hi. I read my okay. Hello, my name is Kevin. I'm 17-year-old from China, and I'm working towards becoming a professional tennis analyst. If if I woke up one day and lose tennis, I think I would study and try to become a manager to help other athletes. Who I'm without tennis is a question that forced me to think for a long time. Tennis has taken half my life, so it is very hard to discuss myself without bringing it up. Well, very luckily, my parents and my coach don't put a lot of pressure on me. Per, per, performance, since styles were always smooth, something I disappoint myself. There was a time when I haven't won any matches for a long time. The only thing I could do was culture to training activity. And for in the following competition, I placed second for doubles. Though there was loss, I never once considered that route isn't for me. I know my thinking can seem rather optimistic, but my positive outlook actually comes from my failures. A competition will always have a winner and a loser. Nobody wins every game to play, and you get used to do it. And even when I lose game, I don't believe there is a big difference in our abilities. After all, playing each other in the first place proves I can be on the same playing field, so I won't give up.
Sorry, Kevin.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yes, I
Yes,
was
I
just
can.
giving you an introduction of 2 minutes each, and then we'll dive into the discussion in a while. So I was just giving you to give a brief background about yourself. Then we'll give you time to highlight some of the key areas maybe you've gone through and some of the psychological issues you've encountered while on the field. So that way, we're just giving you 2 minutes to introduce yourself for each panelist, please.
Uh,
I
okay.
hope that sits well with you. Just give me 2 minutes. I introduce the two panelists, then we'll give you time now to go into the specifics of the day. Thank you.
Okay,
Uh,
thank you.
yeah, I think at this time, may I welcome John Regan so that he introduces himself in 2 minutes exactly and tell us one unique thing about yourself. Then we move on. Regan.
Okay, hello everyone.
Hello, we can hear
So,
you.
my name is John Regan Asere from Kenya. I'm born and raised in Nairobi in an area called Mbotela. I'm currently playing for Alisi Soccer men's team. So, like many other young ballers, my journey started on rough community pitches where we used to play football without boots. You see, we also used to play football on roads. And one thing about me, what I can say about me is I'm really competitive. I don't like losing. So I started being an active bowler at the age of 12. By this time, I was being supported by my dad, who later on, after 1 year, he passed away. and I was left with my mom. So being a firstborn in a family of 4, this was hard for me actually, because it made me, I could not play football I could not play football by loving it. So it started being pressure for me.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Regan. I think we'll give you some time just to dive into those specifics and elaborate a bit further. So at this moment, may I welcome Oni. Oni, I don't want to do a lot of introductions because I know you come from the giants of Africa in terms of football, and they have set pace for many countries and many young bowlers who are coming after them. So Oni, take it away, introduce yourself, and then give us your keynote address. Then after that, we shall go on to our other panels. Oni, welcome. I don't want to pronounce the second name because I might commit
It's
murder.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. People are very cautious when it comes to pronouncing the second name, so I understand, right? Well, we said we are Gems of Africa. Gems of Africa that will not be in the book is heart aching, but what can we say? It's reality. Well, Carvins, you started by wishing us, Arsenal fans, all the best, celebrating with us. I'm not really an Arsenal fan, but I have a brother who is an Arsenal fan, and since they won, I've not been able to sit and rest. Like I've not drank water and kept the cup on the table. Everywhere is just noise, celebrations and all. So I think as a sister of an Arsenal fan, I should also accept the celebration. So any congratulations that comes from it. Well, I'm Oni Ladonet-Ondesa, and I'm happy to be here. Oni Ladonet-Ondesa is a sports journalist. Oni Ladonet-Ondesa is also a brand strategist. And Oni Ladonet-Ondesa is an advertising manager. So I'm working in advertising. And one thing about me is I do not like to, stay on one thing, like in one place for a very long time. I just like to move. I like to experience things. I like to just try out new things. And yes, so that's one thing about me. And also I'm obsessed. I'd say I'm obsessed with football. Anything football, I'm obsessed with that, sports in general. But I have this really, I'm a sucker for football, maybe because, the time I started in sports journalism, what introduced me to sports journalism was football. So I do have this really, really soft spot for football. And yes, so I'm happy to be here. Colin's called and I just had to be here. I just had to answer. The very first was such an enriching experience for me, and I needed to be here because obviously it's a very timely conversation. And I look forward to sharing my insights with you all on board. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Oni. So I think at this moment, we give you maybe 8 minutes or 10. Just share with us your keynote address, and then after that, we shall be able to progress from there. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Well, it's obviously mental awareness, mental health month, and it's such a timely conversation. Like I said earlier on, when Collins reached out to me, I just felt like this was such a great opportunity, and I just had to grab it. I didn't want to miss out on this conversation because, I looked at the theme. It was like from pressure to power, redefining mental strength through global perspectives for students and young athletes. And that just meant a lot, from pressure to power, because as a sports journalist, I must say the first people I get in contact with are athletes, and the pressure is enormous. For an athlete in Africa, the pressure is enormous. We have pressure coming in from families, pressure coming in from your own self, pressure coming in from your colleagues, your teammates, right? Talk about pressure. I mean, a Max Dowman, 16-year-old, made history as one of the youngest man player to ever win the Premier League with Arsenal. So it's pressure. You're everywhere in the media. You're seeing pressure, something that will pressurize you as an athlete, that this person is advancing. I'm even older than this person. They're getting this opportunity. So it's a lot of pressure, and it can Definitely. And that's why many athletes in Africa do not really get to reach their full potential, because the pressure is a lot. When they get into sports, one of the main reasons why they get into sports is obviously to help their families, alleviate their families from poverty, give them an opportunity, give them a better life. And so when you're playing every day, when you show up for training early in the morning, you're thinking, oh, when I'll sign for this club, you're thinking, oh, when I'll play the Olympics, right? When I will do this, when I will do that, all of those pressure, it keeps coming up. So when you have all of that, all of those kind of amounts of pressure, obviously, for the athlete, and it becomes very heavy. But today, if I really want us to talk about anything, I want to say that, pressure is part of growing up. One way for you to, from pressure to power, for you to seize that pressure and make the power to use it in your own advantage, is for you to think about it as, pressure is a way of growing up. Nobody on earth does not feel pressure. Nobody on earth does not feel pressure or experience pressure. When Collins reached out, honestly, this is such a timely subject, because as one who works with athletes, I talk a lot about visibility. I talk a lot about being, visible, owning your own self, a lot about that. And sometimes I miss the fact of at the point where this visibility comes with its own pressure. Because if you're visible online, guess what? Many people are coming to expect, something great from your game, and that day might just be a bad day, and you feel like you've let down those people that have come to watch you, or you put yourself so much pressure. I remember last time I tried to want to, film a player. We're doing this profiling a player once. The moment you realize that we're in the stadium filming, this guy was struggling to the pressure. You could feel the pressure in his play. Somebody that is so good, somebody that is so nice, but upon hearing or realizing that, they will be filming him, they will be interviewing him after, the pressure became so much that unfortunately he sustained an injury. So that's how much pressure these athletes put on themselves, young athletes put on themselves at a very young age. They put this pressure on themselves. But now, how do they manage this pressure? It's first of all to know that pressure obviously is a way of growing. It's part of growing. It's part of growing. Everybody feels pressure. And also for them to also understand that pressure shows up in so many ways. For them, like I mentioned earlier, to them or them, from teammates, from coaches who would expect more, for families who every time they give you money, or they register you in an academy, they buy you a boot, they buy you a jersey, they know they are investing for future purposes. So it's pressure. It comes in so many forms. But when this pressure comes, I want that these athletes, this is what we tell them, they should think of these in a positive light. Because the reason why many athletes, will not be able to go, or the reasons why many athletes struggle, especially when they're playing, it's because they look at this negatively. Oh, I did not perform well. These people are here. What are they going to think after? Are they going to even come after? Will my mother continue to pay my registration fee? Will this, will that? So many things. They think of it from the negative perspective. So if you want to move from, pressure to power, you should think of pressure as something positive. So when you think of it as positive, it gives you a different perspective to that performance that you had on the day. Now, pressure also can be a sign. It's a sign actually, or something of you, it's a sign that you love what you're doing. It's a sign that you care about what you're doing. I personally, when I'm working on a project and I'm not pressured, like I just feel it feels like it feels like I'm not getting anything. Maybe it's from my own point of view. For a younger athlete, they may not see it as that. So it's time for them to start seeing it as something positive, seeing it from a positive light, because pressure obviously comes with so much negativity, but obviously see it from a positive light, that this is because I love this thing. This is because I care about these people. This is because I want to make something better for myself. Now, and when you love that thing, when you realize that, okay, I'm getting pressure because I love this thing, and I'm getting pressure because of this, it should also try as much as possible to condition your mind that, to feel is okay. I can love this thing and still fail. I can love sports and not be able to win games successfully. It doesn't mean I'm not good enough. It doesn't mean I'm letting down my family. It doesn't mean that, oh, I'm not all that. I cannot succeed. It doesn't mean any of that thing. I love this and I feel that but I'm going to work hard and I'm going to come back. We got the previous speaker spoke about how when he was introducing himself, he talked about how he has a family that is supporting him, family that supports him. I think this conversation respect of these athletes also adds so much good at what is being said here today. That as it doesn't take anything from the fact that you've lost this game. It doesn't take anything from the fact that you were not fantastic this day. It's one game. The thing that requires you is to keep showing up. Every time. But how do we get to turn this pressure into something positive? The very first thing we do or we tell athletes is for them to know themselves beyond the game. Now we see parents registering their children into, getting them into sports as early as when they're 4 years, they are 3 years, some even do 3 years, 4 years. And so they're already building their minds into playing, into being competitive. So as an athlete, know yourself beyond the game. Who am I beyond the game? Who am I beyond the game? I know that today, if I leave my job, I'm still the person that is intelligent. I am goal-driven. I am still that person that will work hard to want to get things. I would know yourself behind, outside of the game. So when you start getting all these, failures coming your way, you're not going as it's supposed to, or things are not working in alignment, you get to realize that it may not be working now. Maybe it's something I need to improve. It doesn't define you at that moment, because you know that you're somebody that would push forward. You're somebody that's pushful. You're somebody that is, motivated. Know yourself outside of that game. And in that, what is needed is for parents as well to help in that situation, help them knowing themselves outside of the game, help them in exploring things. Because one thing we've always faced as someone who works with athletes is these people see sports as their alpha and their omega, if I can put it at that in quote, as their alpha and omega. If I don't succeed in sport, I've failed my entire generation. If I don't succeed in doing this, I've failed these people. And it becomes so much pressure. So they should know themselves outside that sport, because you cannot even base your entire existence on sports. It is so short. The time frame on sports is so short. You might sustain an injury today and you cannot continue, or one thing might just lead to another and you have to stop. So what happens then? The pressure obviously grows bigger and it becomes heavier on you. So know yourself outside your sport is very important to be able to turn pressure into power as an athlete. Another thing that you should do also is to train your mind. For young athletes that may listen to me that on this call, is to train your mind. Train your mind to know that one game does not define you. One failure does not define you. One bad season does not define you. Some people is one game, others is two. Some is an entire season. And you start questioning yourself. Is this it? Should I be here? Should I not be here? Is this something that I should have done? So you should also train your mind. And training your mind is getting used to this thing, that this is a situation that I face. Okay, it's time for me to get up as quickly as possible. It's time for me to get up and look, what's the positive? What am I doing next? What's the next thing that is coming? What's the next challenge that awaits me? And for you to be able to get up as quickly as possible, you need to have a great support system. Have great support system. Have people, fathers, mothers, that will not only be that, oh, you need to succeed. People that will come back and care about that, oh, today I'm tired. I don't know what's happening. Oh, can you help me? Can you be my accountability partner? Could you help me in this thing? Could you help me? Let's train together. What is happening? People that you could share things with. It is very important for us to be able to have, people that are our support system, that are there to hold us, especially for athletes, that the pressure can become enormous. Somebody just tells you that, you're doing better. Sometimes just reminds you of who you are and what you do. Very, very important. It helps take away that pressure from you. And we don't see that often coming from clubs, from associations. They don't really think about these players. They don't think about the pressure that it comes to it. A coach wants that a player to deliver. He wants you to be there. Maybe if you do not deliver one bad game, they sidelined you. So I think it also has to be with these players where you understand that, because one thing is protecting yourself from other people coming in. What this coach said about my game today does not define me. What this person is saying about this does not define me. So when you have a great support system, you know yourself beyond your sport, and you also train your mind to know that certain things, certain failures that you've experienced does not necessarily define what you're going to define you. It's going to help turn pressure into power as an athlete. So I think that is essentially what I prepared today to talk on. We should obviously train our minds. Pressure should not define the people that we are. We should use pressure to be something positive. Look at the positive side of it. I love this thing. Oh, I'm feeling pressure because I love this thing. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, how do I come back? At the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, I know that I can. I know that I can do this. I can bounce back on this thing. I can do this because that's what I know about me. So pressure is something you should do from a positive light. If there's anything you want to take out of these, is pressure can be positive. Look at pressure from a positive angle and make sure, use it. Build great support systems around you that will help you through those times, because they're definitely going to come. I will not come and tell you that they will not come. They will come. They will pressure. In fact, like I said, the very essence, like sports itself is pressure in Africa. When you're thinking of sports, you're thinking of pressure. You're looking at the opportunities you have to scramble for. Not so many opportunities, and you're fighting with 1,001 people to get the same opportunity. Obviously, that's pressure. So as an athlete, protect yourself in this sense. Build your mental strength, have the right people around you, and know yourself beyond your sports. Because I tell you, you have the ability. You are beyond your sports. Your life is not centered on that sport. You are beyond it. So that's what I prepared today. If anybody has a question, I'd like to hear from you as well. But if you guys have any question, please let it. Obviously, I guess you drop it in the comment box, and then we get to talk about it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Oni. That was very insightful. I don't want to add more to that because of time factor. But I want to implore upon you, just stay with us, because I'm seeing reactions already from our chat box. We'll be able to get some of them, and so that you're able to react to them. And also we'll have an open discussion on open forum for all the panelists and all the delegates who are present today. So I want you to implore upon you, just be with us. Then if there is any question directed to you or to the panelists in general, you may be able to chime in. At this point, from the land of the great indomitable lions, from the land of the great Roger Miller, from the land of the great Samuel Eto'o, you want to touch base once again to the land of our ancestors in Nairobi. I want to come back home in Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya, to bring in our other panelist, John Regan, just to share with us a few minutes. John, I hope I'm stealing you on call. Please just bear with us. Take the shortest time possible, around 10 minutes. Just briefly tell us about your journey in sports, and then give us some of the highlights you've gone through in terms of psychological challenges and hurdles you faced in the grassroots sports, and especially trying to make ends meet as a young person and as a person who lost a parent at a very tender age. You ought to have given you a sense of direction and given you a shoulder to lean on. John, take it away. You have your 10 minutes from now going forward. And please put your video on so that we are able to see you. Welcome. John, you can unmute. Yes.
Sorry, I'm sorry for that. I hope you guys can hear me. I hope you're getting me.
Very loud and clear. Please put your video on.
I am working on that. Okay, now. So my football journey, it hasn't been easy, but above all, we've been pushing. So as I was saying, my football journey, it began when I was 12 years old. At the age of 12 years is when I started engaging in football, and I used to play for a certain team called the Yankee in our area. So after 1 year, my support system was my dad. He passed away, and I remained with my mom. Actually, my mom never saw football as anything, you know. Growing up, in an African home, moms they always value you learning, going to school instead of you going to the pitch. So it started becoming hard for me. I could not play, and by the situation back there at home, financially we were not good. So we had to look for a way that I could join high school and continue with my studies. So I was sponsored by the grace of God. I was sponsored, and I joined St. Mark's Secondary School, Obambo in Kisumu. This is where I also started. I became active again in playing football. So after Form 4, I had an injury on my leg when I was working. So I could not play football again. I had to stay out of the pitch for 2 years. And my mom never wanted me to play game, by the way. So this was very hard for me. I didn't know what to do, and I went to my coaches for some advice, and they tried talking to my parent, but my parent was so hard on it because she saw that I'm just wasting time. There's nothing better that I'm bringing back at home. Also, remember, I'm the firstborn in our home. I got other siblings following me. Now this started to be pressure on me that you should be leading as an example. You should be going to school instead of you going to the pitch. You should go to school. So many people don't really know what happens in the minds of footballers. From a distance, people see talent, matches, goals, highlights, but behind there is a lot of mental pressure. Yeah, I really passed through a lot of mental pressure, by the way, and I used to cope up with it. One thing I liked what Noni said is pressure should not define who you are. So I stayed with my pressure, and the good thing about it, I used to talk to people about it, and thanks to my coaches, they led me on what to do. They told me you should do this and you should not do this. You see, back here in Kenya, the grassroots football is so hard because sometimes after you growing up, now you start being dependable on yourself. If football is not bringing anything to the table, now it start also being a burden. You see, it puts pressure on you because for me also, I also got lucky and went to college. Just graduated 2 years ago with a certificate in plumbing, and this one, by the way, it helped me because I had already proven myself to my family that apart from football, I can also study, and it was a turn around to me because now my mom could now allow me to go to the field. Now I could play with her blessings, you see, uh, and and it was nice by the. So most of the emotional reality of grassroots football that I passed is balancing football with school, family, expectations, the financial struggle, and the fear of missing opportunities. This was hard for me because every now and then you feel like you are others are ahead of you, you see, because by this time when I was in school, other players whom we used to grow with, they had already made steps, and they were playing for bigger clubs. They were playing for clubs where they were provided for everything. But for for me, I used to do everything for myself. So the emotional pressure from people around me, once they see talent in me, they begin to see hope in you. But some forget that talents need hard work, and even if you have talent, without support, there's nowhere that your talent can take you to. Yeah, so this was a major challenge for me, lack of support from home. I could not play because I had no support at all. Not that my mom could not give me support, but the financial stability in our home. Football demands a lot. You need to buy shoes, you need to eat. So you can't be bought shoes and your other siblings back there at home, they are sleeping hungry. That one cannot happen in an African home. For sure, I know for that one it can't happen. So by time I used to think that maybe I should quit, maybe I should look for a job, maybe I should concentrate more on my other career, which is plumbing. But the love for the game will just bring me back to the pitch. And apart from it, being the captain of my team has not only put pressure on me, but it has also taught me a lot of things. Yeah, I learned how to maintain my pressure. I learned how to mingle with other people. You see, once you are a captain, you must give it your best, because I'm also, people are watching you. You see, even from the academy, the boys are watching you. The girls team, they want something better from you. So if you fail, I think what I think is that, apart from me loving the game, the fear of failing my family and the fear of failing my teammates is high on me. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Regan. I've liked what you said and what was echoed by Oni about pressure and being part of growth of a human being. So let's all train our mind. I think that's what you are trying to highlight. I have maybe a few questions for you, but time constraint. Let me give our last panelist a few minutes, so that we may be able to come back to the questions together. So thank you very much for the highlights, for the challenges you've highlighted, that what you went through. The loss of a parent sometimes is not easy, and especially for anybody who is growing, who's still young, who needs a lot of nurturing and guidance and example. It's really, really a big challenge. Sorry for that once again, and also for having time and speaking about it at this age means a lot, and you really encourage so many people to fight on despite all the challenges, all the things that might happen in one's life at whichever stage it may be. So thank you very much, Regan. Stay with us. There are a few questions for you as a follow-up mechanism. Just due to time constraint, let me bring on board our next panelist, who is Kevin Ding. Kevin Ding, please, at this moment now, take it away from us. I know you are somewhere in the US, from China, US. Tell us something about that, and just spotlight for us your sports story. And then after that, let's dive into the topic of the day, which is how do you manage the psychological isolation and the pressure that comes with sports in the high pressure cultures, especially where you are in the US or when you are in China. So just give us that overview. Tell us how you metamorph in sports and how you are doing this far. Welcome, Kevin. This is your moment. Take it away. Have your 10 minutes. Kindly unmute, Kevin. And please show us your videos so that we are able to interact with you accordingly.
I
Hi, Kevin.
In China, my dad and my mom is very supportive for me to play tennis, and my my coach often always tell me, you you can admit you are not good as other, but you can't deny yourself what you are copied of just because of that. Um, and if if for any reason I really can't become a pro athlete, then I'll be a manager or something like. And tennis in the world is very expensive for every family, and I very happy mom and dad can support me to play this sport. And I want to go to America to college play NCAA. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Kevin. And so just tell us, as a follow-up question from your experience, your development in sports, and the support system you got. I'm very happy that you had very supportive parents. I think this played a very crucial role in your tennis journey. So I know this is very important, and also you've highlighted how expensive tennis is. So this comes at a cost, but once you have a very good support structure and those who support you from the background, it's very important you can easily overcome these habits. So at this point, maybe some of the, how would you manage, or have you been able to manage some of the psychological isolation and pressures that come with sports, especially in cultures as in the US, which we consider one of the high cultures and has a lot of pressure in terms of sports or things to do with athletes. Take it away, Karen.
Like I I will do more like if I think today I'm not I'm not good, so I need do some break something. It's not to play. If I uh I think something and I tell you like I don't know like uh sometimes if using tennis tired, I can change something like baseball, like soccer to play to change yourself. Yeah, that's all.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Kevin. I think the background you've given is very important, and the transition you've given from China to the USA and what you're doing currently, which is making a lot of sense. So stay with me, and then stay with us before we close. We'll give you some the second round of maybe questions to interact or digest going through. Oni is still with us. Oni, I just want to have a quick one as a follow-up question. You highlighted very key elements in your keynote address, which was very insightful. One of the things you highlighted is that pressure is part of life, so nobody can do away with pressure. Otherwise, all of us would have life the easiest way, which would negate the essence of life. So in your submission, you made a very important aspect about pressure being part of growth of a human being. So today, every match has something called smartphone recording from the touchline. It's something done across the board, whichever sport it is. So does this digital gaze make a player or make you play for tactical win only, or on the pitch, or you are performing for the algorithms which they at the end of the day they try to seek validation with, and then at the end of the moment there are some expectations that should be met. So at what point do the likes, the shares become more important than the heartbeat of a game? Because all the time there is somebody, when you watch every football, every sport, some in the technical department, somebody with a screen or somebody with a smartphone trying to follow you up, meaning your every moment is watched. How can we bridge the two? Are you playing for this or for the algorithms, or how you bring the aspect of the passion, aspect of the result, which plays to the individual growth, plays to the individual game without losing the track of the progress of this? Only if you are with us, take this away. Kindly unmute. Oni? I hope you are not having any technical issues. If that, we'll be able to resolve if you have. Oni, can you hear me? Okay, I think Honi might be having technical challenges. So I think our technical team will respond to this. Then if that is the case, may I take this to Regan? Regan, I'm seeing you on call. Just a follow-up question on your earlier presentation. With your support structure or your fallback plan, you mentioned something very important, that you are able to graduate with a certificate in plumbing, which is more of a fallback plan. But how are you supported? Because you said there were a lot of challenges that you met, which were psychological in nature or mental in nature. How are you supported? Do you have support structures within the teams that are able to support other players, or you included? Because you also mentioned you are the captain. So are there any support mechanism or structures put in place by your team that are able to assist people going through the same thing you are going through? John Regan, if you are on call, please take it away.
Okay, thank you again for the question. So what happened to me is that I was raised in a Christian family. My mom used to go to church, so I got sponsorship from a church. I actually, they sponsored me from high school to when I finished college, is when I got to graduate from college. But for us, our team still doesn't have any support system for how to support the players.
Oh, okay, that's a challenge. That's something that needs to be looked at in a lot of keenness.
Yeah.
Because this is where talents are nurtured, and if there are no proper structures within a particular team, and especially the grassroots level, where the talents are good from the onset, I think it's very important that we take note of this. I hope Oni is back. Only if you can hear me, can I see thumbs up? Or if our technical team has resolved your case? Okay, Oni is receiving some technical challenges. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, I have the final round of questions. But before I give the final round of questions to our panelists, I'll open this discussion for all of us who are present today, all the delegates. I want to give you an open chance so that you're able to share, make a comment, ask a question to our panelists, so that we are able to respond and finish in good time. And see us, we have just slightly an hour to go, or under an hour to go, so that we are able to finish within record time. So I want to open this up to all the delegates, so that we are able to ask. If you raise your hand, I'll be able to see you. and then ask you to unmute and then share, make a comment or ask a question to our delegates. So the floor is all open for all of us. Please interact. Let's interact. Let's make the session lively, and then we finish in good time. I saw a question. I saw a question on the chat box, which I would want to share with us. Which I want to throw this question to Kevin Ding. Somebody, I didn't capture the organization or the name. I just captured the question. Somebody shared. When journey comes off, when your journey in sport comes off, who remains? When your journey in sport comes off, who remains? Kevin, if you can hear me, can you just react to this statement? When your journey in sport comes off, at the end of your journey, or when abruptly the journey ends, maybe due to an injury or something of the sort, who remains? Just shed some light on this, Kevin. Can you hear me, Kevin? I hope you are not having any technical challenge with Kevin as well. Okay. The technical team, please check if there is any issue with Kevin. Okay, I think he has dropped. There's some technical challenge. So, Regan, can you react to the same? When your journey finally ends, who remains? When your journey in sports as an athlete ends, who remains? Can you react to this?
Okay, for me, I think that when my journey ends, who remains is I think I'm the one who remains. And when I talk about me, I'm talking about me and those behind me. So I'm talking about my family, because the goal is to change home, you see.
So the family structure is very important to this effect. And I think this happens to most, or if not all of us. So Oni, I saw you back. Are you with us? If you're with us, just I saw you back. Oni?
Yes, I'm back.
Thank you very much. There was a question for you, but you had technical challenges. I think sometimes matters of internet and the issues of the technical effects of the net may be a challenge. So we had some follow-up question regarding your presentation you made, and also as a way forward. You mentioned about keep showing up. You mentioned about pressure being part of life, or part of everybody's life. So just a follow-up question about this was, today, in every sports discipline, you find that there are smartphone recording from the touchline. So the question is, does this digital gaze make you play for tactical win on the pitch, or are you performing for the algorithm validation of digital scout you've never met? Therefore, at what time do likes and shares become more important than the heartbeat of the game? So just brief for us the difference, the algorithm aspect, the validation, and the game itself. So take this away.
Okay, Calvin, thank you so much for that question. Well, when we talk about algorithm, I think it's a conversation that is happening now, especially with the call being for more athletes to be on social media to, put themselves out there, especially African athletes. But it never takes away the fact that what we need from you as an athlete is good performance. Because like I said, there was a time when we wanted to interview this player. He was just aware that we were coming to interview him, do a profile. So the kind of styles he was just moving on the pitch, you could know that it's somebody that is self-conscious. When we're conscious of the fact that we want to go viral, or the algorithm, we need to feed the algorithm, then we're no longer performing for ourselves. The pressure doubles. We're no longer performing for ourselves, we're performing for the audience. It means that those people have a say in what we do. It means that even if you're giving your best, You might give in your best today, and because it doesn't go viral, because people don't like it, people don't share, people don't comment, you start feeling that was not good enough. You start feeling like that performance was nothing to write home about, while you gave in one of your best performance ever. So it's not looking about the algorithm. Never think about the algorithm. When we carry out campaigns of people to be visible online, it's just showing that you should show yourself. You should show what you do, because you're inspiring the next generation of athletes. The likes of Samuel Eto'o, no, we only saw them when they went, to Inter Milan, to all these big clubs. But when people in Africa, when people in your neighborhood see where you started and where you will become, or where you become in the nearest future, it inspires other people and gives them the vision, and it makes it in a way that it becomes accessible. Sports, like he said, one of our speakers spoke of how his mom, please pardon me if I make an error, wasn't really in support, doesn't really care about sports that much. So it gives an impression. Like now, my mom is on social media all the time, and so when she's watching this player, she's watching this thing, she doesn't really determine what she comes on her feed. Obviously, she's going to see a player, so it kind of humanizes that she starts thinking, oh, well, if my child wants to become a footballer tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to refuse. These are footballers, these are people, these are athletes, these are runners. And also that's why the call is for them to be on social media, but not for them to base their entire existence on the algorithm, because that's another set of pressure that you don't want to put on yourself. You already have a lot of pressure to want to perform always at your peak, and imagine wanting to get validation from people every time you perform. That's a horrible thing and a horrible situation I don't want any athlete to put themselves in. So you're not performing for the algorithm, you're performing for yourself. You're performing when you show up every day, I'm showing up because I love the sports. I'm showing up because this is a path I have chosen for myself. This is a path I love, and I'm showing up for this. I don't care if I get 1 like, if the video that they post gets 1 like, or the video, I don't care. It is me. It is what I'm doing. It is what I love. And at the end of the day, when I go back in my house, I should be satisfied that I gave in my all. I was the best version of myself, or I learned something from the version of myself I saw today on the pitch. So that is exactly the mindset that people should have.
Wow, thank you very much, Oli, for that. I'm seeing a follow-up question from Osimbo Makuku, but before I give you to react to that, Oni, may I welcome Lizzie Otai. Your hand has been up for long. Sorry for that. Just unmute and share your insight or comment question. Lizzie, over to you.
No worries, thank you. Yeah, I was worried that you didn't see my hand, the electronic hand. But so just a quick follow-up on what Regan was talking about, in terms of how competitive he is, and of course I come from a competitive family, so I understand how that pressure can actually build up. I just wanted to know, has he found a way of working around his competitive nature, and does the competition only kind of extend to the sport that he's involved in, or is this competition personal life in general?
Lizzie,
and how
Lizzie, sorry, Lizzie, you got lost. We lost you at one point.
Really, my internet is very stable. Can you hear me now?
You are very well now.
Okay, sorry. I'll make it very brief. So I just wanted Regan to kind of give in a little bit of insight on how he handles his competitive nature. He mentioned that at the beginning, that is very competitive when he was introducing himself, and I needed to know, does the competition only extend towards his sport side, or has this also kind of penetrated his life in general, and how does he handle it, or does he still feel like him being competitive is still a part of who he is as Regan? Thank you, Kevin.
I'm most welcome. Thank you. This is very direct to Regan. Regan, just to respond to that, how do you handle the competition? Is it only on sports or even in life in general? Just handle that. Then we'll come back to Oni to respond to the question. And I'm seeing Tobias has raised his hand. We'll give you a chance.
Okay,
Regan.
so thank you again. Thank you again. So about the pressure, handling my pressure from a young age, since my dad died at the age of 12 years. I've been the firstborn of the family. So see, that one is pressure itself. pressure itself, because people are watching you, not only people from outside, but from my family. And being a captain, it's also pressure on me. So how I managed to maintain the pressure is I just accepted the situation at home and situation on the pitch. That's how I managed to move. I've managed to move on with my life by accepting the situation.
Okay, thank you very much. Before I give Oni to respond to the question from Osimbo Makuku, Tobias, in a minute, your contribution, your comment, your question to any of our panelists. Just unmute.
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, clear.
Yeah, so my name is Mondi Tobias. I'm a psychologist. I work currently in Rwanda, and I'm just touched by the stories of the young athletes, especially John Regan, and that's why I'm happy with the YIDP organization for organizing such forums, because as he said, in his team, there are no specialists or professionals to help in the aspect of mental health. And this is very common in most African countries or that has sports. And sports is very common, but you find that almost no team have like someone professional who can help athletes in terms of their mindset, in terms of their mental health support. And I believe that what you guys are doing is great, and looking forward to a brighter future and, bearing fruits from such forums and discussions into assisting our athletes. That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tobias, for that insight. Oni, I hope you're still on call, yes? There was a question from Osimbo Makuku, and he said in your submission there was something you indicated something about interview pressure. So the question he was asking, do you have any trainings to help the athletes overcome this kind of challenge? Oni?
Please take the question. Take the question all over again. Are there any trainings to what?
Trainings. Do you have any trainings to help the athletes overcome the kind of interview challenge or pressure they go through?
Okay, when it comes to interview pressure, is it interview pressure? I want to be clear on that. Is it interview pressure that they go through as athletes? Oh yeah, we do have trainings like that. I think we intended to do that every month, but due to some difficulties, we could not continue in March, April, and May. But hopefully in June we are going to start. So we had a session, especially in February, where we walked athletes through how to get over the pressure of interviews, because we know many athletes, they don't interview them. First of all, make them see why it's important for them to be part to get interviews, to speak to the media. It's very important for them, and how to come out of that pressure, that phase of that boiling pot that can become a very challenging one for them. So we do have trainings. Now, I really cannot confirm because I and the team were working so we could relaunch back in June. So yes, we do have trainings like that as well. When we organize one, I'll definitely tell Collins or reach out to Collins, so maybe he could share with the person who asked. And yes, would like to have him on board too. Also, any challenge he has, we would definitely walk him through that. When it comes to the media, any problem you have with the media as an athlete, obviously we're going to help you in that area.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, Oni. I'm seeing another question from Joseph Weche. What are some mental health self-care tips you can share as an athlete? I don't know whether we have, let me just check. Just please check if Kevin Ding is back. He was experiencing some technical challenges. So I think I'll throw this to either I'll throw this to Regan, and then also throw this to you, Oni. Some of the mental health self-care tips that you can share as an athlete. This is athlete tailored mental health care tips. Regan.
So sorry, here the inter is very poor.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's okay. Welcome, Kevin.
in the match is never nervous. Because you need relax for in the match, and you can win if you every time like very nervous and you can't play yourself just it's only like it's nervous can't play yourself, so you need to relax to in the match. Sometimes is I play the ITF tennis in China, and sometimes my opponents the ranking is very high, and I'm not nervous. If I nervous, I only just play. I lose very fast. Um, because you can in training I no chance to play its high ranking opponents, so I very enjoy this match. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your reaction to that, Kevin. Sorry for the internet challenges. Sometimes it's like that when you least expect it, it does that thing. So sorry for that, and thank you for logging back again. So, Regan, I don't know that you can hear me. I want to make a follow-up question regarding to about what you said before. This especially managing psychological isolation to individuals. How do you protect your identity as a human being first in the most competitive environment such as that one of sports? How do you protect your identity as a human being first in this kind of competitive environment?
Okay, so what I started doing is the first step was to be careful on social media. I could not post everything, and I also started being I also started being my information. I could not reveal my information to everybody. So I started being secretive about my things. Yeah. And also sometimes I used to avoid fake friendships. Yeah. Things like those.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. You are very guarded in whatever you're sharing out, and sometimes you are not depicting the real you. So only there was a question about the mental health care tips that you'd share. Because maybe you're not an athlete as per se, but you deal with athletes on a day-to-day basis. Just some of the mental care tips, self-care tips that you can share.
Well, I think we once had a session with a mental health specialist, and some of the tips he shared, if I can recall them, he talked about counting in your heads when, like, after a bad game or after a bad performance, you sit down. I think that's what he mentioned. Yes, so take a deep breath. First of all, he talked about journaling, that you should be able to journal, like write down your thoughts. Okay, this is what happened today, what went wrong today, and what will I do best? How do I intend to correct this? Journaling is very, very important for, he talked about the previous speaker. He mentioned how he wants to stay away from fake friends, or he likes to stay alone. So for people that like to stay alone, athletes that want to, have their thoughts with them, or think about things, obviously you should be able to journal, write things down. It gives you clarity on what you're doing, on what is not working. And you also talked about the mental health specialist also highlighted that it's very important that you do not surround yourself with things that will give you so much pressure on match days or on competition days. Like, asked before the competition, you should just be surrounding yourself with things that make you happy. Is it music? Is it any music? Just set the tone, things that will put you in the right mood. You should surround yourself with those things. After the game, even if it doesn't go on well, you should also surround yourself with positive things like that make you happy. Try as much as possible to forget. So journaling helps you understand what went wrong, and try as much as possible to take a deep breath. I've accepted what happened today. Tomorrow, this I'm going to make it better. So it gives you a clear mind, and it takes away that stress from you. Do not think or replay the scenario in your head. I think a coach had told me this, very important, that we see people, you were this close to winning a race, and you start thinking, you start replaying the scenario in your head, you start replaying. And he said, the coach had once told me that when you have such an instance, what you should do is, when you're replaying that scenario, replay it in a sense where, in the positive light, that you won. Even if you did not win, replay it that I won. So it gives you a sense of, okay, this is how I should run next time so I can be able to win. Because if you're only thinking of how I was this close to winning, you're replaying that scenario of how you did not win, it can hurt you, and it can haunt you for a very long time. So if you're replaying the scenario, it should be that, okay, this is where I made a mistake. I should have done this, or I should have quickened my steps to be able to reach the final line. So you should replay it in a positive light and not a negative light. So I think those are the tips I've been able to get from other coaches and experts that actually help me as well to just get off bad days.
Okay, thank you very much, Oni. I think I want to ask Kevin one last thing. Not one last time, just a question. Now, Kevin, today, imagine you wake up tomorrow and your sports life is gone, maybe due to an injury or a situation that cannot make you progress with your life. What will you be doing? Walk us through that. Or how do you start handling life going forward?
Hi. If I wake up one day I lose tennis, I think I would study or 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 try to do manager to help other athletes. And how I'm without tennis is question that forced me to think for a long time. Tennis has taken half of my life, so it's very hard to discuss myself without bringing it up. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kevin. So you'll study. You make a very good point that tennis has taken much of your life. So leaving it will be a very tall order. I've seen a hands raised. Christine, I hope you are still there. If you can hear me, just unmute and then go ahead. Make a comment, make a submission, ask a question. Christine.
Thank you so much. This has been very beautiful that we're bringing mental health conversation at this table, not only sports, but beyond sports and winning. What else? So we want to thank the people giving their scenario, how they felt. It was very insightful. I'm Christine from Uganda Strong Minds. My question is, how are we doing to ensure that we are balancing competition, winning, performance, despite the emotional and psychological safety? How are we doing it? I know partly Kevin has talked about it, that the coach has given in some tips. How do you manage? But how are we doing to ensure that we compete, we run the race, we perform, but emotional and psychological safety? What are we putting in place? Another one, we want to thank an organization that has created this as an awareness. What are we doing to ensure that parents, school authorities, people people supporting teams, they get this information. What have you done? What have we started? Are they flyers? Are there messages? Sessions on radio? Thank you. To protect our beautiful and handsome prayers that do a lot, but in case they fail, how do we protect them instead of breaking them? Thank you so much. Keep it up.
Oh, thank you very much, Christine. I think I'll throw these two questions to our panelists. First, I'll bring in the last question you asked about information flow. How do we dispatch this information to the relevant quarters, relevant factors, so that they are in the know? I think I'll throw this question to Oli. Then the question on balancing for safety, balancing sports, competition, winning, not winning, and life in general. I'll throw this to Regan and Kevin. So I think I'll bring on information flow, so that how do you manage the channels of information? How do you communicate? How is this information packaged so that it's able to reach the desired audience and in the right way possible? Only. Ronnie, are you on call? I think Oni is experiencing, I'm not seeing her on call, so we'll take that. I'll give this the first question on the one Christine asked about. How do you balance between safety, between sports, between the competition you are doing and life in general? So I'll ask this question to Kevin, and then also Regan will also chime in. So Kevin, how are you able to bridge to balance, strike a balance between all these other facets of life, competition, but for the individual safety, the emotional aspect of it, psychological aspect of it, the physical aspect of it, and then are you able to have a complete complete competition at the end of the day, which does not harm either of the quarters? Kevin, and then also Regan to chime in on that.
Maybe I often play the ITF the match. Everybody's friend. Nobody like if I lose, I will not with you, and we are not friend. We are in the match we are opponents, but without match we are friend. We always go outside to play some play. We sometimes they for me learn some question for tennis, and me sometimes maybe my serve is not good. I will to ask them, then they will teach me. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kevin. The same question to Regan. How do you handle that kind of competition, the pressure, all the safety for it? Sometimes when you win for everybody, but when you lose alone. You have everything to shoulder for yourself. How do you strike that balance and also able to continue the same life you've lived, either in either extremes, either you win or you lose, but you need to bring the life going forward? How do you manage that, Kevin? That is Regan. Regan, if you can hear me, I hope you, yes, you are on call. You are on, okay, go ahead.
Okay, so from my side, how I used to manage these things is firstly, I did learn how to avoid unhealthy habits. This is I'm talking about maybe partying, yeah, and those kind of stuffs. The second thing is I have goals from myself. I know what I need to do and what I don't need to do, so that I can reach where I'm supposed to reach. I hope you are getting me.
Yes, I do get you.
Another thing is that I started. I have hobbies. I have hobbies outside football. So most of the time I will be in my at home listening to music, reading, or even I'll be going for church activities. You see, this will help me. I won't be interacting with everybody. I will just be staying connected to people who matter only. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Regan, for that. I think one area that we are all agreeing is that there is pressure across board. But how do you manage this pressure going forward, either from family, from the faith, society? But at the end of the day, there's a human being to protect. Your psychological, your physical, your social, your emotional aspect of being a human being. So I think we are doing well. I still encourage us to type our questions in the chat box before we take the final round of our questions. I want to give us the next 5 to 10 minutes, so that if you have any issue pressing, which we need to ask our panelists, we do it now with between 5-8 minutes. Then after that, we take the final questions and also final submission from our panelists. Then after that, we'll get a way forward from our CEO and then have our session end that way. So at this moment, we still encourage those, if you have any question on the regarding any issue, regarding any topic, regarding any statement made by our panelists, this is the moment to ask. This is the moment to share. This is the moment to comment, so that we are able to journey together going forward. Okay, I'm seeing just comments being typed or being shared in the chat box. I'm seeing Joyce Adhiambo, who has raised her hand. Joyce, if you can hear me, unmute and then share your contribution, your comment, or your question.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for those very informative presentation. I just want to give an input. When you talk about mental health, we should also leverage on self-care, because if you don't take care of yourself, things can get so bad. Again, we also need to think around debrief, because as much as we play football, we engage the youth. We should also have a debrief after the football, how they felt, how the match went on, and how they want everything to go around them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Joyce. I think that is very important, having self-care, having debriefs, which are very important, which I think debriefs are part of and parcel of almost every profession across board. So I think embracing this as athletes, as sports enthusiasts, as sports people, it's very important that we do that. Regan, if you can dive into the earlier discussion that I pointed out to you, if you are there, you can hear me. You can make a comment regarding the same.
Please,
Sorry?
Pardon.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm getting you. I'm just I want you to pardon.
Joyce has mentioned something about self-care. How are you able to care for yourself as athletes? And also, do you do debriefs after every session or periodically when you're doing your trainings, after your matches, or before your matches, or in between?
Okay, so talking about the self-care, so for the team, the team only provides you with equipments to train. After that, there is nothing that they give you. So for me, I had to get enough rest, you see, by sleeping well. I had to eat healthy and hydrate properly, protect my mental health. This is this is by being in the right place at the right time, you see, by being disciplined. Yeah. And also, sometimes I used to take breaks when it's necessary. When I felt pressure on myself, I just had to take a break.
Okay. Thank you very much, Regan, for that. I hope Oni is not yet back. I think these are challenges with our the communication that is part and parcel of that. They can break down when you least expect them. So I think there was a question that was not tackled from Christine. If I may give that to Collins Dundo, just dive into it about the dissemination of information flow. So Collins, if you have any insight, you can take it away. Collins, can you hear me? Yes, that question about information flow. So I think it's very important. I think it also touched on what YIDP is doing with this kind of information. Can it be able to reach the grassroots? Can it be able to reach different organizations? Can you take us through that if that's it really?
Thank you so much, Kevin, and thank you so much our speaker. And thank you, Christine, for asking such a very important question. And I'll respond categorically. Like this journey we had started earlier, and the engagement has been fruitful. And the engagement that we've done with a couple of different stakeholders is it's materializing into something that will realize that our sports sectors, especially grassroots, is well for our young people, and our young athletes get the necessary supportive system that they need. In terms of disseminating the information, I think YIDP is currently, like I mentioned in my keynote address, we are working on the tools that will really be very helpful for parents and also helpful for coaches as well as referees and athletes themselves and schools. So we are using languages that really relates with young people. We are using mental hygiene instead of mental health. We are using some terminologies that doesn't stigmatize mental health. And if you see some of the engagements that we are having, we are even looping in the media industry, the sports psychologist, and also sports journalist, so that it is a joint effort. So Christine, by you being in Uganda, you'll be at a better place to even support us to disseminate this information and also start having these engagements with the media houses, so that parents will be able to know how best to relate with their athletes, so that they are able to create a safe space in their and also create support their athletes to pursue what they strongly love. So I'll leave it there, but I'll just echo that during my closing remark, because our next session will focus on journalists, on how they handle this particular pressure on the field, and on how they handle a bit of the challenges that are facing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Collins, for that information. I'm seeing a lot of discussion and insights from our chat boxes, and it's very encouraging. For that information from our chat boxes, and can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much. I thought I got lost. So thank you very much. We are almost there. We have under 20 minutes. And so I want to give a final round of closing remarks from our panelists, 1-3. I'll give each 5 minutes to just give a closing remark on each of them. Then the five final minutes I'll give to the CEO Collins to make his closing remarks and give us a way forward. So at this moment, I'll start with Kevin. Kevin, you've been in sports for quite some time. Just to give us the general feeling of being in sports and like being in other quarters maybe you've interacted with before. And also tell us your closing remarks based on the topic we had today, and any important insight that you may want to share with fellow athletes or people trying to join athletics, trying to join sports. from whichever quarters, from whichever discipline, and ultimately tell us one unique thing about yourself. Kevin, 5 minutes.
Thank you. I know my thinking can seem rather optimistic, but my positive outlook actually comes from my failures. Competition will always have a winner and a loser. Nobody wins every game they play, and you get used to it. To it, and even when I have lost game, I don't believe there is a big difference in our abilities. After all, playing each other in the first place proves I can become the same played failed, so I won't give up. I hope from sharing my outlook, my fellow peers in whatever stage of life they may be, can take away that the traits and losses you encounter do not determine your value, and also they may be difficult to uncover. There are always other paths possible. They can make you of your skills. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I'll give this moment to John Regan, just 5 minutes. Your closing remarks, your encouragement, your insights to future upcoming athletes from whichever quarters discipline, and maybe something at the tail end, something unique about yourself, and one thing that has kept you going forward. Kevin, that is Regan.
Okay, personally for me, I have realized that grassroots football in Kenya does not only test my physical ability, but it also tests my mentality. So I have to remain disciplined, my emotional strength, and also my identity as a person. So there are moments when football stopped feeling like pure enjoyment and started feeling like responsibility. So for me, for my main message about this, what I can get is that as much as football can create opportunities, I think people must also protect the mental well-being and identity of young players behind the talent. And what any advice that I can give to those ones coming is that you can't just give up. You don't give up. No matter what, you don't have to give up about your future. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Regan and Kevin. I think I just want to read a comment that is in our chat box from Meseret Chemeda. Forgive me if I didn't pronounce the second correctly. Yeah, and this is what Chemeda is saying. My two takeaway from the discussion. One is positive mindset toward pressure and resilience. Pressure can be seen as a positive force that reflects passion and ambition. Therefore, young people are encouraged to turn pressure into motivation, discipline, and growth, while understanding that setbacks or failures do not define their future or identity. The second thing being highlighted by Meseret, which is very key to this discussion, is strong support systems and holistic youth development. And I think this is something that was mentioned by John, by Oni. So then Meseret is saying that a strong support system involves coaches, parents, mentors, and organization is essential for youth. Sorry, it ends at that. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to echo, just in conclusion, in a nutshell, some of the highlights that were shared with us from the onset up to now. We were given a lot of information and presentation regarding the topic of today, the webinar, the roundtable for today, which was sports and what happens after the pressure and all the thrills and the things we go through. So one thing that has been highlighted since the beginning is pressure is part of life. Pressure is part of human growth. Pressure is part of human development. How do we manage it going forward? Another thing is, let's keep on doing what we are doing. With all the pressure that comes with it, let's keep on doing it persistently, consistently, and things will turn on the better. And let us know that there is something after the game. All the athletes, there's something after the game. So that is also a very key highlight that came up. And another key highlight that came up is, let us train our minds, let us train ourselves. Take one game at a time. There's a failure at one point. There is a positive thing at the other point, and let us be able to know how to manage that going forward. And also another thing highlighted, which I don't fail to mention, is the power of support system. Regan mentioned about the loss of the father at a very tender age, which also has given him some sense of direction, some shoulder to lean on, but this never happened. The father died when he was still in the formative ages. So that was a big challenge. But that notwithstanding, things took a different turn. But we thank God, we thank the persistent and the commitment he had. He is able to weather all that up to this moment. And finally, something echoed today from our panelists, which was isolated, is something about fallback plan. What is the fallback plan? Kevin mentioned it clearly, that he said, if he does not play tennis, which he has played for the longest time, which he said living very difficult, to go back to study. John indicated that he had done some course in plumbing, which is more of a fallback plan. So this was a very touching and a very strong point that was made by both the athletes. And so it's important, not just only in sports, let's have a fallback plan in whatever we do, because at one point or the other, something might happen in between. So we just take precaution that life does not move in a linear way. It moves in series. Sometimes a road might be blocked. Let's be able to know how to manage ourselves going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to talk so much. I don't want to belabor anything shared now. I hope Oni is back. Oni, are you back? Oni was experiencing some technical challenges, and I think that has not made her join once again. I thought I would give her closing remarks. If she is not yet back, then we are sorry for that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being part of this great discussion, for being part of this great roundtable engagement this afternoon from Nairobi, Kenya. I want to give this back to the CEO and the founder of YIDP, that is Collins Alan Dundo, to give us his closing remarks and a way forward. Dundo, if you can listen to me wherever you are, take it away, give us your insight, your final closing remarks, and give us a way forward. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, thank you so much, Kevin. And thank you. That was a powerful dialogue, powerful discussion, and I really appreciate the kind of knowledge that has been shared today, and coming from athletes themselves. So I know experts who are here. There is a take home. You've taken your notes, and you've had the real challenges that the athletes are fighting. sorry, every day. I hope you can hear me. The kind of challenges that the kind of challenges that athletes are
Collins, you're breaking. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. The kind of weight that athletes are carrying every day, the supportive systems that they need at their safe spaces, that is their fields, and supportive system even their coaches need, because the coaches really work with them every day and they have their struggles. The last session, somebody asked who is taking care of the coaches. And this is something that experts who are in the field, those who are in the private sectors, we should go back to the drawing table and find out how best to support the grassroots sports. And we are calling upon the private sector. This is the moment that you really need to invest at grassroots, because you really need to invest in a talent that you will be proud of as an entity in this nation or across the globe. And we encourage every member or an expert in the mental health space to be part of this discussion, reach out to us, and we continue having these more engagements. We can, in partnership with you, we can even do an in-person engagement so that we can reach out and train the athletes and also train the coaches that work with them every day. And I really appreciate you for taking your time and being part of this. And I'm encouraging you to reach out to us through the contacts that have been provided on the chat. So feel free to reach out to us, bring in new ideas. As an entity, we are reaching out to these stakeholders in sports, so to see how best we can help, to see how best we can anchor this conversation through virtual, through advocacy within the community level, because these kind of struggles are the ones that are leading our youth to get into drugs and substance abuse so that they can cope with the pressure. So I am glad Nakada is here in the call. I think those are the notes that you can take, because we should really extinguish fire where it has started from. Let us not go to the branches of the fire trying to pour water to extinguish it. And yet we know and we've heard from the athletes themselves where the fire has started. So I really appreciate and thank all our speakers, the moderator, and even all our partners who have made this conversation possible. So allow me to switch off my video, my data allow the internet fluctuation. Am I there? Yeah. So allow me to switch off my video. Thank you so much. This brings me to something that we as an organization is working on. Like I said, we have our next roundtable, which gonna be next month. That will focus mostly on journalism, sport journalism, how sometimes we've seen cases whereby journalists are very reactive when it comes to anchoring some of the incidents, some of the challenges that are affecting our young people. So we'll want to understand how they are doing in the field, how they are focusing at grassroots, and maybe some of the challenges, some of the lights that they can bring so that our young people are able to get support. So I also welcome you to our upcoming summit that we are planning, and we are inviting everybody to come and join us. We are embracing the spirit of Ubuntu, whereby we can with the limited resources that we have, we can join hands and have this conversation and bring these athletes, bring these coaches, bring teachers who are working with the young people in sports in secondary school and primary schools, and even ECD teachers and people even across Kenya, so that we can come up with the best strategy in unity that will really support and will really be a game changer across Africa. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't have much. I'm only stressing, kindly reach out to us, and we'll also reach out to you if you want to be part of this summit. If you can support us with the venue, if you can support us, some few coaches to be part of this discussion, if you can organize a side session whereby you need coaches and you need athletics, we welcome all those kinds of engagement. So with those few remarks, thank you so much, and have a blessed day. And I know tomorrow is Friday. Be safe, and always preach this gospel whenever you reach or you meet an athlete. Preach this gospel and let's transform life. Let's build a well entity for our young athletes, both in school and in our community. Have a blessed day.